Sports King Vision is in the building. Hope you can hear me. I know sometimes there's technical difficulties with all this stuff, and I'm not the greatest with it, but I do my best. One day maybe I have an assistant, right? But anyhow, as we jump in the building, Hank, the host of the Sports Game Vision channel, SGV, please hit the like button. Sure, you just double tap on the screen. And if you're watching it later on, of course, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, post frequently. I got to get back even more into it. Last week, I kind of slipped a little bit, but um, had some things to handle. Of course, we got our regular jobs, as my guy I'm gonna talk about it here says, the regular jobs, but still sports fan. Love it. Commentator, pundit is myself on this media streets and social media streets. But anyhow, um, yeah, let's get into it, man. As you can see in the screen here, I've got a few things I wanted to talk about. On my graphic, you got Dwight Howard on there, Jeff Bezos, Gilbert, and the Draymond Green Poole situation, and of course, rest in peace to the WWF, WCW great Sid Justice, Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid. Um, he was in ECW for a little bit. Um, Untimely passing, and I guess we can start there. It's a shock. Hadn't seen him in a while. I know he hadn't been inside of the WWE arena. I think he had something going on with Vince. Vince, he always has some type of beef with people sometimes. And I think he had something going on with Sid, where Sid didn't come back for a while. I remember he came back. What was it? One of those where the legends came back and did a surprise match. And that was like in 2000, mid 2012 or something like that, and beat I forgot who he beat, the one that said what's his name, I got kids, I got kids. He beat him in a quick match, brought back some memories, nostalgia. But yeah, it's sad to see he was battling cancer quietly with his family. So Psycho Sid, or Sid Vicious, when I was a kid, um, he was intimidating on that screen. You were almost scared when he came out to wrestle. He was part of the Four Horsemen, and of course, he went on to do other things as well with his run in WWF as Sid Justice and Psycho Sid. Won the championship, won the WCW championship. When I think about the United States Championship, there's a few people I think of. He's one of them. Him, Booker T, Lex Luger rather, Goldberg. That United States Championship to me is prestigious. He's one of the guys that held it for a while, but he was a very intimidating, talented wrestler. When you think about big guys, you think about him. He was billed. I always thought he was around 7 feet, but I think he's around 6'9". And in today's generation, there's not a lot of guys like him. With the newer generation coming in, I beg for AEW to promote more guys, and I see they did a rest in peace for him. Tony got some big guys there he could push, sort of like a Sid or in that same ilk. And even in WWE, they're not pushing as much. I know we're gonna have Braun Strowman versus what's my man's name? Just put Seth Rollins out on commission. They're gonna have a match tonight. Two big guys, but it seems like the business is going towards normal body types, which is cool because they weren't doing it a lot in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. So you get to see other talented wrestlers, but the big guy is important to the wrestling arena as well. So hope they do that. But to think about what's going on here with Sid Vicious or Sid Justice, however you want to call him, Sid. Rest in peace. Condolences to his family, and he deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. I did not know he was not part of that yet. He's a multi-time heavyweight champion. He's even in ECW for a minute. I remember that. I forgot about it. They showed the clips on it. I remember watching that on VHS tape back in the day. He's no, he was the guy, man. He's one of those guys that got it. When you see him, you're like, oh, that's the guy right there. So rest in peace, and sorry, and send our condolences here from Sports Game Vision. Um, and I know they're gonna do something tonight on WWE Raw. I'm sure they're gonna do something 10 bell salute or something where they pause for him, or at least they're gonna get some type of video package for him. I'm sure they will. I know they've already released something on the socials. Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman tonight. Another big guys. It's a big guy salute. Hopefully they kind of talk about him a little bit during that match because they represent him. In AEW, I ain't forgot about what they had Brian Cage and Wardlow and all these other guys. You need to push them. Need to push them. But in the same lane, I also want to give a condolences to high school quarterback uh, Caden Taylor, if I'm saying it right. Tragically, in a football game, a head injury, he passed away. It just kind of shows you that um, life is precious, and these sports are very intense, and anything can happen. You don't want to put fear on your kids, but it just shows that football is dangerous, and we got to be very careful when we out there. And rest in peace to him, and condolences to his family. To get into it, uh, to the other part of the video, I watched my guy Gilbert Arenas on his platform. He talked about the Jordan Poole situation with Draymond Green. And guys, as you come in here, please and don't cost anything to like the video as we chop it up and build and grow here on the platform. But Gilbert Arenas was talking about Draymond Green versus Jordan Poole and giving more context about the situation. We all have who have followed it kind of knew what was going on per se, but he has more insight because he's a player. The players talk to players, they talk to agents, they talk to managers and owners and all that stuff. So they got more information than anybody quicker. And he broke it down. You go watch the video; he has it on there. But basically, he gives more context in the fact that Draymond kind of pushed that to the forefront, kind of messed up, and the whole incident with Poole, um, what is it saying? The things he said to Draymond was it, "You're an expensive backpack." That happened the day before the incident when Draymond came back the next day for practice. That's when the incident that everyone has seen on video actually happened, where he punched him and then he got dropped on the ground. Blah blah. And we all know the story. Not too soon afterwards, Poole was traded to the Washington Wizards. Kind of messed up the dynamic of the team because they just came off a championship and Poole was very integral in being that bench role. Now, I think the year before he got traded, I don't think they did well, obviously, but yeah, salute. Um, yeah, it's interesting to see the dynamics now. Gilbert, don't kill us out here in these media streets. He's part of a different part of media. We got the one side, I coin it traditional media. We're talking about pundits, analysts, commentators, writers, journalists, all that stuff, and even athletes that are on the traditional media side, radio, all that. Then you got new media, which is coined by Draymond Green, but he wasn't the first to do it. He just coined it. You got the athletes with their own platforms, their own podcasts, their own shows, creating their own narratives and telling their own stories. And then you got, I call it media 2.0 or internet 2.0, whatever you want to say it is, where it has social media, uh, influencers, content creators, bloggers, all that, which will probably include myself in that lane. So we don't get all the information that those other two get. They have insiders. We got to take what we can get from actual reports and things that have been brought out to the public that we can actually talk upon. So when he gives context to things, that's cool. But don't kill us if we don't know everything. That's all I'm saying. So we can get our own insiders on this stuff, and then of course you want to protect your sources. So you got to be careful what you put out there. But yeah, don't kill us. We trying to. Everybody's got a lane, and everybody can win. That's what I'm saying here, and everybody can work together as well. But shout out to him to bringing that out. You should check that video out. Pretty entertaining. You know how Gil is, how he does things. He's pretty brilliant at breaking down stories. So check that out. Um, yeah. Whoa. Oh yeah. Wrestling. We talking about wrestling. I forgot to put this in here. What you guys think about Rakishi talking about his son Jay Uso and the storyline? He's probably going to have a Rhea Ripley. They going back and forth. It's been building up for quite a while. Where they're probably going to have a storyline where he's taking over from where Dom Mysterio left off at, and they feel like he should get something bigger. I do too. Jay is really over right now. The crowd loves him. As soon as he comes out with his entrance music, the stadium erupts. They called him main event for a reason. So I think they need to go ahead and at least get him to that point. I know the bloodline story is there, but he can help Roman and all this stuff when they finally form back together, because that looks like it's going to be the work right there. They're going to form together. Go ahead and get him a championship. He can get a world title or intercontinental champion or U.S. championship. Put him at the main part of the card. The fans love him. And then Rikishi said that they need to do something, or he can leave. I don't know if that's something that Jay wants to do, um, but he's putting it out there. And um, honestly, with Rikishi, got to be careful now. If this ain't coming from Jay, or if Jay don't want it out there, you could mess up him in the inside of WWE. And I know we do this in all sports, where like the wives or the family members say things that the athlete don't want them to say. So got to be very careful. He's still there right now, and I'm pretty sure he has a decent contract. So shout out to Jay. Definitely looking for him to win a championship pretty soon, but he's definitely over with the fans and over with the crowd. They love him a lot. Um, but moving forward, I do want to talk about that's what's also on this clip or video or billboard I got on here. um, Dwight Howard. I'm talking about the NBA. Dwight Howard was acquitted, or the charges were dropped, or the lawsuit was dropped about his SA allegations from a person in Georgia where he's from himself. Shout out to him. Congratulations to him. But yeah, I mean, do you guys think that Dwight is going to be able to be back in the league this year? I think he can still play. I mean, when this all was going on, I'm like, Dwight can still play. You can see, even when he was in the league, Dwight, you can tell he can still play the game. Maybe he's not the number one option anymore, but he's definitely can be a guy that put in some minutes and help a team. Specifically, Lakerland. Shout out to BA, who's I see you in the comments, part of the Lakerland team. Like, guys, like, hit the screen twice. Um, go to Lakerland platform, but besides my platform and BA's platform, go to Lakerland, join, so subscribe and like the videos and watch this stuff over there. But Dwight can definitely help the Lakers. We're talking about a center um, position that will help AD. He helped them before. He's also come out and said, which I've said, which or a lot of people have said, that that 2020 team should not have been broken up that way. And he was a part of that winning team. Bring them back. And plus, you got the young guys. It would help you not have to trade away valuable pieces if you got a guy like him, and he would be part of the big man manifesto or community when you'd have him, Jackson, Woods, and of course Anthony Davis, all in that pool of big men. And then you don't have to go out there and just trade away value to get a Valanciunas or something like that. You want to hold on to your draft picks, which seems like the Lakers are trying to do. I know my brother Seven Mitchell, Lakerland, talked about the whole uh, Luca is the future of the Lakers, and I thought that was crazy. It's not really crazy they're thinking about the future, but what about right now? They still have the ability to possibly win a championship in these last couple of years, and they put the right team together, they can do it. So you're talking about the future, meaning they're probably holding on to some of these picks and all that stuff to be able to draw in Luca or somebody else in the future, and just showing you there is some type of disconnect in that organization between Anthony Davis, LeBron versus the front office. So hopefully not, but I'm thinking that it is. And LeBron's probably going to be there for a couple more years. I don't see him playing super long. Um, people think that he'll play into the Olympics and all that. I'm not sure. But he's definitely going to play out this contract, and I believe he's got one of those options still too. So he could also move on somewhere. But either way, um, interesting to see there. Dwight Howard can come to the team and help out and possibly help them win another championship. Moving on, but congratulations, get that case out the way because he could sign anywhere now. What else I got on this picture is Jeff Bezos. So I put that on there because there was a rumor going out about Bill Simmons. I guess he had some intel information that said that Bezos wanted to buy the Boston Celtics, which we know the brass over there are trying to put the team for sale. And I think they're going to make a good amount of money because the NBA values have jumped, skyrocketed from just the early 2000s, the mid 2000s. It skyrocketed in value quite a bit. So they're going to make a good profit. And then, some of these teams are selling so that they can, maximize their profits and also be competitive in this market because, you know, what is it like? Mark Cuban sold to the lady. She's got a ton of money. She got more money than Mark Cuban, meaning they can go out there and get other assets, other players, probably pay into the luxury tax. So imagine if Bezos does buy the Celtics, it would they can keep that team together. He can keep going into luxury tax as long as they're winning, so that they can keep on winning championships and be very competitive. And then he can retool the team when he needs to, with the two pieces being Jalen and Jason, and he can keep on paying them. So an owner like that, Jeff Bezos buying the Celtics, I know they say it's rumor, but he's also tried to buy a couple of football teams. So him being in business with the NBA now, I don't think there's any rule because they're saying players can buy teams now. That's in the contract. So a partner probably can buy a team, and he would be the ultimate owner. He have more money than my guy out there in the Clippers. For the Clippers on, I can't think of his name right now, but he's got a ton of money. He has one of the most in the league, and you see he tries to keep it under the books, but he's willing to spend some money when he needs to. So I think Bezos would definitely do the same thing if he was to buy the team. So imagine that. Tell me what you think in the comment section about Jeff Bezos, and Amazon possibly buying the Boston Celtics. Um, One other thing I got in here, guys. Like I said, I'm not gonna hold you long. Just want to jump in. It has been a while since I've been on the live portion of this. Please again, hit that button, double tap, and support the channel. But Dame Lillard, thank you, sir. Thank you. Uh, Dame Lillard. I don't know if you guys seen him working out with David Goggins, who is what Marines or Navy SEAL. Man, it looks like he's going to be prepared and ready for this season. We know Dame works out. You can tell he's not like he's in some bad shape. And if you know his history of where he came from the smaller college and all that stuff, he put a lot of work in to make the league, just to make it. And of course, now he's a top 75 player, but he wants a championship, man. He wants an NBA championship. He's put in the extra work. Goggins worked him out where he couldn't even really speak or laugh. That's how much work he put in with him in that training session. So, next year he'll be more conditioned for this upcoming season that's coming up pretty soon. He's looking like he's going after it. I know the Bucks made a couple of moves to strengthen the roster. Of course, they got Darvin Ham as an assistant now. I know they got Torian Prince. That's going to be more defense for them. But yeah, they come back healthy. You think Milwaukee's got a shot at winning the championship? Um, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. But yeah, he wants the title. I know he did not get to Miami like he wanted to, and when I was doing more research and listening to more things, I think he wanted to, especially with him coming out saying he doesn't get enough credit that he deserves, which is true. But Miami would have gave him more of a spotlight. It's Miami. It's you know the stars align down there. Milwaukee doesn't get the press that Miami would get and New York would get. Um, what else? The Lakers, shoot, even the Clippers. If he went out there, he'd get more shine than he would get in Portland. But again, winning changes everything. So you got another. Was yeah, I'm sure Giannis was 75 as well. You got 275 players on the team. If Milton comes back pretty healthy, they're going to be okay. But they gotta make it happen. You got to make it happen. But that training is intense, and that he did with David Goggins, and we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, guys, pretty much that's all. I got more, but I'm gonna hold off. I got more stuff, but I'm gonna hold off. Well, one thing. I am going to talk this. We talked about this on the platform, Lakerland. Please go to that channel and like, share, subscribe to that one as well. But the Anthony Edwards situation, I've been actually holding this live to talk about this for a minute, where he's going around saying that the guys in the past didn't have skill. And you see Magic just recently replied and said, "Don't if you don't have championships, I'm not going to respond." But the main thing that I want to stress too is that all of us, including the players, as great as they are, as talented as they are, and if you've been on my platform or you see me on Lakerland, you know that I'm a fan of him. I want him to do well, rooting for him to do well. But you got to know the history. You got to know the history. There's been way more skilled players. The biggest difference in this generation is that they can shoot more threes. They have the range to shoot it. They have the ability to shoot it more. But those guys in that generation weren't allowed to do it. They weren't training to do it because their game was different. It was going inside the paint, not outside the paint. And all these little fancy dribbling moves, it's not that some of them guys couldn't do some of it. It's that they weren't allowed to do it in the game. So those game changers like Allen Iverson or White Chocolate, Jason Williams, those guys, Ray Austin, that came into the league, brought a little flair to the game. Um, you got to thank those guys for that happening, including the 3-point shot. Don't forget Reggie Miller. Don't forget Ray Allen. Don't forget the oh my guys, Rifleman, the Person brothers, Wesley and Chuck. Don't forget Larry Bird for that matter. All these people that came out, the Steph before Steph, Abdul Raul. I can't. I'm not. Am I saying his name right? Mabdul. If y'all know what the section, please put it down in there. His former name is Chris Jackson. Abdul Raul. I know it's that the last part of it, but he was a big part of helping changing that 3-point culture as well. Detlef Shrimp, Nate McMillan, the list goes on. So it's always people before you to help change things, including these guys coming into the lane with no one bumping on them. Thank Michael Jordan for that. Think all these other guys that came before they were high flyers that complained and finally they made some adjustments in ways what the league wants. So yeah, got to know the history. I've heard Shaq, I've heard Michael, I've heard who was the other player I heard say they didn't know certain things from previous era. Well, it's up to us to learn who came before you and what things was going on. Good basketball in the 2000s, mid 2000, the 2010s, 90s, just played differently. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say on this channel. I try to give props to all the players. They're great and their greatness. Salute to them. But yeah, also putting a little bit of more history and context to things. But yeah, man, that's it. Going to be back, jumping back in this again pretty soon with another live. Like I said, please like, hit that butt screen twice. Help support the channel. That helps it grow. Subscribe, comment, all that stuff, and let me know what you think. I am out of here. Peace.